Hi guys, this is Abhijit with Digit. We have with us Mr. Prafulla Mathur, who is the founder and CEO of Wudstay, and we'll be discussing more about how he is improving and enhancing the accommodation service in India. So for my first question, I would want to know how did you come up with the idea for Wudstay?
Okay. See, I've been an entrepreneur for last 5.5 years now. I started my first company called Digitin in 2010, and currently it is one of the most prominent mobile applications development company. For Digitin, I have been visiting cities across India for last 5.5 years, booking budget rooms across India. So be it Bangalore, Bombay, Chennai, Hyderabad, Thiruvananthapuram, Delhi, Gurgaon, everywhere. And consistently you have, so if you book 10 times, 6 or 7 times you get a bad experience, and 3-4 times you get a good experience. But with this, the whole confidence of booking a budget room goes for a toss. When you book through an OTA, you never know and you're never confident about the quality of room you're gonna get. Be it a 3,500 rupee room, or be it a 4,000 rupee room, or a 2,000 rupee room. You're never sure. So that was an eye-opener for me, that if this is a challenge and if somebody can take care of this challenge, if somebody can take care of these basic amenities in these hotels, there's a definite value proposition. People would be willing to pay for that. Yeah. And I also believe, see, I'm a techie, and I believe that you can solve ground level problems with technology, because in technology it is all 0 or 1. You cannot have gray areas, right? You can either solve it or you cannot, right? So as a techie, I thought that if I can standardize these things through technology, there's a big value proposition. That was the germination of the idea, and hence we started Wudstay and we launched our website and mobile applications, so on and so forth. So this is the technology that we invest in. Inclusive to this, we also invest in technology for standardization of these basic amenities. Yeah. To give you an example, we have something called as a Wudstay router. So in our Wudstay hotels, we implement this router to cater to one particular problem. So what happens today is, let's say there is a 20-room property. At night, 12-13 people start streaming something on YouTube. The rest of them cannot even open their Gmails.
Contention ratio.
Yes. Yeah. So what we do is implement this Wudstay router, which distributes this bandwidth equally across all channels. Right. So you have your bandwidth allocated to you. You can choose to do whatever you want to do with that, but the others will not be affected. These are the things technology can solve. So there's a big value proposition there.
Okay, so the contention ratio that you're talking about. So are you also investing in the internet connection or just the distribution?
No. So internet connection is not that big an issue. So these people can get 4 Mbps, 8 Mbps lines. That is okay. Broadband is available to all of them. There are so many businesses available to do that. The problem, however, is the usage of that bandwidth. As I said, people streaming something on YouTube or downloading something, which affects the downloads or Gmails being used in other rooms. So we have to solve that rather than the connectivity there. So that's why I implement only the router.
So going forward with this example, do you have other such implementations to enhance the
100% yes. So there would be multiple technology innovations that we'll come up with, right? And this happens after that. So once you've done the requirement analysis, so as you rightly pointed out, see, connectivity is not an issue, as we just discussed. So what our contracting and compliance teams take care of is that they first check the connectivity. Once the connectivity is okay, then we implement Wudstay router on top of it. And there could be multiple other problem areas as well in these properties. So we'll implement technology to solve that too.
In this industry, so there are also many other players who are trying to come at the top of providing better accommodation facilities. So what is that different feature that you are offering to the users?
Okay, see, to answer that, first you need to understand the core value proposition. Why is the Wudstay model required? And to understand that, we'll have to understand the history of travel e-commerce in India. So in India, we first started with the OTAs, especially the 4 main OTAs that we have in India, who solve one particular problem, which is that you can be sitting in Delhi and booking a room in Bombay. That was one problem sorted. The bigger issue, however, is that there are 2.5 million budget rooms available across the country. However, there is no standardization. There is nobody who goes there, checks that stuff, checks whether the Wi-Fi is working, checks whether the kitchen is proper or not, checks whether the staff is well behaved or not. And this is something the OTS could not do, right? So we have we have taken up this as a challenge. And how Wudstay differentiates from anybody else is that we want to stick to that core proposition. If we can provide that standardized amenity branded experience to the user, that is what we want to do. Some of our so currently we are the second largest hotel network in India. The other competitors that we have, maybe talking about the booking experience, how soon you can book something. Our proposition is that you can of course book instantly on our mobile application and website, but what we are out there is to set a gold standard for standardized branded accommodation. If it's a Wudstay property, the user, the guest is 100% sure of a good experience. That is what differentiates us. We want to stick to that core proposition. It's not an OTA that we have set out to make. It is that standardized experience that we have set out to make.
Your company goes out and certifies such locations?
Any hotel that becomes a Wudstay hotel is in itself is a certification.
So how does that certification work? What are the other
So we have a checklist. We have a checklist of items, and every hotel that wants to become a Wudstay hotel has to comply with all these guidelines. So our contracting team goes there, gives them this checklist, checks the whole hotel proposition, which includes the Wi-Fi, which includes their kitchen amenities, which includes the cleanliness in the lobby, in the room, in the washroom, the linen, the towels, the bed sheet there, the curtains and everything, smaller details, and the staff as well. So people have to comply to that. Then we have a compliance team as well. So once the contracting team has said that okay, they comply with all our guidelines in the checklist, we take a hotel on board, it becomes a Wudstay hotel. Then our compliance team goes there and checks this promise on a regular basis, that what was promised on day one is stuck to day on, and every day. Then we have something also called as Woodcare. We spell it as WUDCARE, wherein we have made a 5-people team which goes and stays in these hotels. So they would stay there for 1 or 2 days, experience it as a user, and then give that feedback to the hotel manager, to the staff there, tell them what basic subtleties of hospitality are. Do some role-playing techniques wherein they impart that education to the staff. I'll give you a small example. So in hospitality, what needs to happen? So let's say a guest asks you if you have one brand of newspaper. Maybe you've given it to some other guest. You cannot have 20 copies of something, right? So many times these the staff people might say, sir, we don't have that. A better approach could be, they would say, sir, let me go back and check, bring 5 other brands, say, sir, we don't have that one right now, we've given it to someone, as soon as it is free, I'll bring that to you, but here are 5 others, do you want some? So it's the subtlety of hospitality that needs to come in. So Woodcare team takes care of all that. So that's how the proposition works.
So we were checking your website and we found that there's premium and a normal one. So what is the difference between them?
So the difference again is maybe the rooms are bigger. Some rooms are more lavish than a standard room. The property can be a 4-star or a 5-star property. There can be multiple experiential differences there, and hence the prices are a little higher than.
So there are no a checklist of facilities, and that once it crosses that, it becomes a premium stay?
No. So see, Wudstay has some basic amenities which will be adhered to even in the standard category, right? So these basic amenities are common across, be it standard or premium. In a premium hotel, it is more of a lavish experiential difference. That's the only thing.
Okay. And so talking about how many cities are you present currently?
Well, we are in 40 plus cities now, more than 400 hotels that we have across the country.
So for auditing whether the hotel is offering those particular facilities properly, as you said, you have a team. So is it outsourced or they are employees in the company?
Not at all. This is all in-house.
Okay.
See, that's what I said. This is the core proposition. You don't outsource your core proposition.
Okay.
Right? This is what we have to stick to. We don't want to create another OTA. Right? This is a gold standard of quality accommodation that we want to create, and hence this has to remain in-house.
To like cover 40 cities, like around there must be thousands of hotels out there. How big is your team then?
So we are currently around 55 people,
Okay.
and we are hiring more. So the team is expanding at a very high pace now.
We also see that other players are having a good user experience also, and we found that the website was pretty new currently and is missing on certain filter techniques and proper sorting out. So are you still working on that?
See, it's an ongoing process. Any technology product is evolving on a day in day out basis, right? You do something today, you do something else tomorrow. So you see our mobile application. It's a very user friendly application. We've taken ideas from both the material as well as the flat designs. We are very high on the interactivity part of things. To give you an example, on our mobile application, you can surf through, even at the first time usage, you can surf through all the hotels. We don't ask you to log in first. Right? That's a difference between some of our competitors. We would not ask you to log in. The first booking that you are making, once you've done giving all your details, that check in, check out dates, etc., the first time that you are booking is when we ask you for your name and for your mobile number, and these details are fetched into the system. So the second time you come to book, you're not asked for that on the mobile app. Right. So these are some differences that there are, and as I said, it's an evolving product. Website, mobile apps, and everything. On the Windows app, to be precise, we are partners of Microsoft. So Microsoft has partnered Wudstay, wherein they are doing co-branded activities for people who buy Microsoft Lumia phones from now on. So we are high on technology, and being certified from the largest technology company in the world. I'm sure that's kind of a testimonial.
What does the future of Wudstay look like? Where are you going to venture out next?
Okay. See, again, the core proposition is that we want to be the gold standard, and next 5 years we want to set that gold standard as a foundation, that this is what we are known by. See, you can find out an analogy of our model through what happened in telecom 10 years, 12 years before, in let's say in 2002, 2003 kind of time frame. Telecom was coming up in India. All these telecom companies that you see today were creating a network across the country. Very operational, execution based job, wherein they had to go cluster by cluster, city by city, territory by territory, and erect their towers there, make a network. R is a similar model.
Okay.
Yeah, we would go cluster by cluster, city by city, territory by territory, see hotels there, check them, check the compliance, check the staff and everything, and make a big network out of that. It takes time. I think our team has done a phenomenal job to increase this network from 2 cities when we started to 40 cities today in the last 7-8 months. And in the next 3 to 5 years, that's the gold standard that we want to set.
Yeah, it's not easy actually to like audit 40 more cities around in the city.
Oh, 100%, 100%. And because it is not easy, there is a challenge. Once you sort that challenge out, there's a big value that you are creating. I'm so excited about creating that difference in India. And even if you look at the larger picture, as a country, we need Wudstay models across various domains. Why? And because that's the difference between developing and developed countries. In developed nations, you have standardizing and rating agencies for everything.
Yeah.
So let's say if you have to go out for dinner, you exactly know what is good in one particular restaurant, right? Whether it is a good restaurant or not, right? So you are always sure of the experience. In developing countries, that does not happen. So I am of the opinion that we need to create such rating and standardizing agencies in developing countries as well, and India is where we are doing that.
Okay. So right now, do you have a revenue model, or are you going to only focus on the development part?
No, 100%. There has to be a revenue model from day one. Our revenue model is wherein let's say we contract with a hotel and we sell it for let's say about 2,000 rupees. The revenue that we generate could be anywhere between 20 to 40% of the ticket size. This is the revenue share that we have with the hotel staff. So there is definitely a revenue model.
So yeah, that's it from my side. So if you have anything else to add.
Well, I think we've covered most of it. What we are trying to, as I said, what we are trying to do is to create that gold standard for quality branded experiential accommodation.
Cool. So that would be all. Thanks for your time.
Thank you
It
so
was
much.
nice talking
It
to
was
you.
very nice talking to you
Yeah.
as well. Thank you.